Let's start with James Krupia from the Oregonian.
Ron, one of the big disconnects on this defense last year was you guys would create unbelievably positive situations in 3rd and long and then allowed an unbelievably high rate of success on 3rd and long. Obviously, Coach Avalos has installed the dime package, and the results have been unbelievable so far. What do you think the key to that has been? Has it been the additional defensive back? Has it been Andrew Fallu getting in there in the role that he's in that position? Is it Brandon Dorless in the role he plays in that package? What is it that has allowed you guys to go from a situation that wasn't as good to a situation that's phenomenal?
Well, we emphasize situational awareness, so that's probably the first thing, and then just being able to play with different personnel. Being able to have guys that can cover and bring in another DB, or we have guys like Andrew Fallu that can do both. He can cover, he can still stop the run with those draw plays that a lot of teams have been trying on us. So just having a lot of guys and making sure that everybody's aware of the situation and where we need to get to. That's something we've emphasized throughout the offseason as well, and even back in the winter and spring. So I feel like that's probably why it's been improved.
A.J. Jacobson, Rivals.
Verone, I was just wondering, sitting out that first half had to be very difficult. How did you cope with that, and what was it like for you?
Well, for me, I wanted to stay involved. So I was on the sideline. I was coaching every single snap, making sure that everybody was on the same page. Every time they came to the sideline, what do you see? What do we need to improve? What I feel we should do better, and just trying to be a helping hand. I couldn't go in the game myself, so at least using my mind to help other guys on the field will help us be successful.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Verone, what have you seen, and what are the keys in stopping a quarterback like DTR? Seems like he's proficient through the air, but he also can run the football, running for over 100 yards last week.
Well, with the dual threat quarterback, you got to stop the run and the pass. But for us, it's going to take everybody. The D-line's going to have to be able to kind of close that pocket in on him, and then as coverage, we have to stick to the guys like glue. We got to make sure we're tight on them and just make sure we do our job. We as long as we do our job, I don't think anybody can mess with us.
Eric Skopel, 247 Sports.
Following up on what you said a second ago about watching from the sidelines, what did you see in that first half from the players that both filled in from you, but just defensive backfield as a whole?
Everybody was flying around. There's some things like we could have done better, of course, and that's just football. I mean, we got to communicate. We got to make sure we hit our landmarks and just know what they're trying to attack, especially with a team like Washington State and them being a run and shoot team. They're trying to attack certain areas, so we have to know those areas that they're trying to attack and make sure that we lock it down.
A.J. Jacobson.
Verone, targeting is such a tricky call. I mean, the one on you could have easily not been called. The one on Nick could have easily not been called. But what do you learn from situations like that where you get called on something? Like, what can you learn from that?
Don't change the way you play, but just make sure that your target zone is a little bit lower. It's tough, we're just trying to make plays. You're trying to fly around and just get to the ball, but just kind of being aware of that call and not trying to be soft, not shying away from contact or anything, but just trying to lower and really hit through those numbers, especially with guys ducking their head and things. That's always a situation. So just trying to go through that strike zone. That's all.
Eric Skopel.
Verone, we just spoke with Bennett a second ago, and he's been thrust into this, played a lot of different positions for you guys so far, and probably maybe a little more snaps than some would have expected. Kind of what have you seen from him and the progress you've seen him from, I guess, just enrolling not that long ago?
He's a true football player. Bennett's instincts are something that really shine, and that he's going to find his way to the ball. He does a good job of tackling. He does a good job of blitzing. He can cover. So being able to kind of be another guy that's versatile in the secondary just helps us all.
James Krupia.
What have you seen from Jamal now that we've seen it in a couple of games, Ron? Of just in the first game, I know he was targeted a good number of times, but I'm not sure how many completions he allowed against Stanford. Not many. And this past weekend, even the ones he allowed, some were really short. One was a really low probability throw, I know. So just what have you seen from him now that we've had a couple of games?
Jamal's getting comfortable. He's getting comfortable, and he's growing, and he's just soaking everything into being a sponge. That's really, I talk to him a lot, especially being in the field side. We are always on the same page, and just helping him grow, making sure that he's seeing the same things I see, and that we're growing together. We're both in this together. I literally told him that yesterday. I was like, we're in this together. So he's done a great job. He's really been hard on himself, I would say, just making sure that his coverage is right, this technique looks right, making sure his feet are good. So he's doing a great job of covering the details and just getting better, and he's getting comfortable. It's the second game he played where he's really the starter, and he's played all those snaps, and he's looked great.
AJ.
Verone, UCLA loves to throw to their running back out of the backfield. They love throwing to their tight end. How does that add challenges for you guys in the defensive backfield?
I wouldn't say challenges. I would just say it's something that we got to make sure we harp in on. Our running backs in practice get out of the backfield all the time and go and run routes. So we know we got to cover everybody. They have some talented guys over at UCLA that can really run routes out of the backfield. So we got to make sure that we lock it down.
Max Torres, Scoop Duck.
Verone, you had the experience of playing at Autzen when it was empty and, a lot quieter than normal. And then again on the road in Pullman. Just compare those two atmospheres and kind of what that experience was like for you in a very different season.
Well, at first, I guess the first game, for a second, it was kind of weird. It was like, whoa, there's nobody out here. But we pride ourselves on bringing our own juice. And I feel like that's something that you've seen in the first game, just throughout the game. And then especially last week, we brought our own juice. We kind of were down a little bit in the first half and nobody got down. And we came out the second half with our energy and our juice and the way we know we can play. And that was the end result, was a win. So as long as we keep doing that, as long as we bring our own juice, that's what matters. I think we'll be fine.
James.
Verone, how does the secondary kind of evaluate the 20-plus yard passes completed, especially coming off a game like Wazoo, where they're going to throw a lot, because neither team really took the top off the coverage against you guys. There may have been a nice catch here or there, but nobody got it, and it was just you're just chasing him down from behind, just seeing the back of his jersey. I realized it was the one run by Stanford, but on a pass, the 20-plus – after you play an opponent who's going to throw that much, just how do you guys evaluate the passes allowed?
I would say we go back to the drawing board and make sure what we need to do is happening. So whether that's the technique, whether that's knowing where your help's at, and just making sure that we really emphasize it. Nobody's confidence has been shaken from it. I would say that we're still ready to go. We trust everybody in the secondary to cover whoever we need to cover and make sure that we all do our job. So it's just about emphasizing little things. Most of the time when people get open, it's not really because we were just beat bad like that. It was a little thing, whether that was a technique, a step, something, a little thing that always emphasizes that. So just making sure that we harp in on that.
Thanks, Verone. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.